On this month's episode of The Local Click, we welcome Angie Basham with Flower Occasions in Woodbury, as well as Josh Tramel with Tramel CPA Group in Smithville. Of course, Justin is back with all of his tech news and tech tips, and we also want to talk sports just a little bit, so stay tuned.
Learn more about fun local events and interesting people throughout the heart of Middle Tennessee, with a dash of everyday tech talk thrown in for good measure. The Local Click starts now.
Welcome to The Local Click. The Local Click is the technology-based podcast brought to you by DTC Communications each and every month, where we talk all things technology and local people. And with me today, as I have on every episode so far of The Local Click, is my coworker and friend, Justin Malden. Hello, Justin. How's it going today?
It is wonderful. Glad to be back. I haven't been kicked off yet. This is so I'm living the dream.
Well, you know, this is officially the first episode of the third season. So if you haven't gotten kicked off yet, it's a pretty good sign that you're here to stay for a little while.
Well, I guess I am lucky. I am lucky in that regard, and I get to be with you each and every episode. So this is 25 then.
It is.
Number 25.
That's right.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Listen, I can't believe we started this thing over 2 years ago at this point.
It's
That's
hard to
crazy
believe.
to think about.
The perspective of it is kind of mind-blowing a little bit, but it's been a lot of fun. I mean this sincerely. We have met so many interesting people doing this, and it has been a blast, and I've really enjoyed it. How about you?
Listen, we've got to meet people. We've got to learn more about the businesses and people of our community, and yeah, it's been wonderful. There's a lot of unique individuals, special businesses, and people within our community, and I'm glad that we've been able to highlight them and share their stories with our audience.
That's right. So September is here, and that can only mean one thing. High school football is well underway. Are you excited about football season?
I'm glad that DTC Sports entering another year of live coverage. I know there's a lot of choices out there now, and we appreciate those who have stuck with us and those who choose to be with us, and I'm glad that we're still the only provider in this area who focuses solely on the schools that we represent. And we've got 5 high schools that we're covering, got 11 regular season games. Between those, something interesting this year that I'm looking forward to is, since I've been a part of this team, it's the most games involving 2 of our schools that we've had on our schedule. Over half of our games this year will feature 2 of our high schools.
Well, that's nice. Yeah.
So when we say we are local and we're covering the local schools, we really, really mean it. But don't forget, we've got junior high football mixed in there as well. We're making sure that we get at least a game from every one of our junior high schools as well, and their programs to make sure that they're represented.
You think about, this is the 17th season of high school football coverage on DTC Sports, on DTC3. And you think about some of those kids that were on that first season in 2009. They're not kids anymore.
No, well, in one of our football previews, new coaching staff addition to DeKalb County is Stephen Jennings.
That's right. Yeah.
Who was DTC Player of the Year in football before, who won that award, and now he is back. He is participating on the coaching staff, and I know he was a late addition for them this year, but things have come full circle for him. He was a participant. Now he's going the opposite side and he's coaching, and the same thing can be said. There's a lot of staff members who have, that's just one example, who were kids at the time, or, now that we're getting to the point that we've been around so long, we're going to start getting to the point that players who were playing are going to start having their own children who they're going to now watch on DTC Sports.
Oh my goodness. That's mind blowing.
Yeah. Again, put that into perspective when you think about that. When you've done it for that long, that's the kind of time span that you're looking at.
That's heavy, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's exciting, and we really appreciate all the schools and the families of these players and the players themselves letting us be a small part of their journey through high school athletics or middle school athletics, for that matter. And looking forward to the future and what's to come. Of course, you can keep in touch with everything DTC Sports related by going to the website dtc3.tv, and that will lead you to the place where you can keep up with everything, including the live stream of the Friday Night Lights that we'll have for high school football and that sort of thing. But yeah, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. It's been fun, and can't wait to see what the future holds.
Join us, every Friday night for a live ball game of the week. Tune in for the box score each week, where we're going to highlight some different things, and speak to coaches and speak to players and have highlights. And, if anything now to the end of the season comes up, we may throw a special or two in there if there's something that we need to cover to make sure that we get. So we'll cover everything that we need to. And like you said, make sure that you check the website for the updates, changes. We've got a schedule out there as well.
But it's been a lot of fun and looking forward to it. And Justin does a fantastic job behind the scenes making all this happen. And we really appreciate his help, and we couldn't do it without him. So as far as this episode of The Local Click, though, we're going to change gears a little bit. And we're going to be talking later to someone that he knows numbers just a little bit. Yeah, I think he's somewhat of a professional when it comes to that, and that'll be Mr. Josh Tramel with Tramel CPA Group in Smithville. He's a great accountant and a great person, and it's going to be a lot of fun speaking with him and learning kind of what he's up to. But first, we're going to learn all things flowers. We're going to have Miss Angie Basham with Flower Occasions in Woodbury coming up next. We are very lucky to have Miss Angie Basham with Flower Occasions in Woodbury. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate you being on the program. I've heard nothing but good things about the shop, and I mean that sincerely. I've heard a lot of people that order from you and have been customers of yours for a long time. They always sing your praises. So
Thank you. Thank you.
do a good job. Before we kind of get started in the flower business, let's kind of get to know you better a little bit. Tell us more about yourself.
Well, my name is Angie Basham. We've been in business for 33 years. And
That's a long time.
that's a long time.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
We really enjoy it. We enjoy what we do.
Now, are you from Cannon County
Yes.
originally? Okay.
Yes. Born and raised here in Cannon County.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's kind of neat that you get to spend your work days in your home area, right? Because you could probably know
Literally
everyone.
in my home also. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The flower shop is in my home.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Well, that
Yes.
is, yeah. Well, that could be good or bad, right? Sometimes when you want to get away, you feel like you can't get away.
There's no escape.
Yeah, there's no escape. Yep. You're kind of captive there a little bit.
Yes.
I bet you know just practically everybody, though, around, don't you? Especially the ones that have basically been here.
Been here
time.
for years, done business for, over 30 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So have you always been in that location primarily?
No, we
Okay.
moved there 7.5 years ago
Okay.
and have been there ever since. Great location.
I understand this might be a family affair. Is that right? Do you have some help real
That
close
is
to you?
correct. Yes. I've got 2 daughters, Brandy Troyer. She's 31 years old.
Yeah.
And then Emily Singleton. She's 27 years old. And they both help every day.
That's awesome.
And then we also have 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way. So the littles are there a lot of days too,
And I'm sure they're ready to pitch in any way they can, right?
whether needed or not.
Exactly. Even if you don't ask for a specific kind of help on something. But
Yes.
that's awesome, though. So you really get to see each other a lot. That really
Yes.
makes for a close-knit family, doesn't it?
Family's good.
Family is good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get started as being a florist?
In my high school years, which was several years ago, I worked for Fred's Flowers
Okay.
and worked for him in high school, worked for years there. And he had wanted me to buy the flower shop straight out of high school. And I was like, I'm not quite ready for that yet. Let me grow up just a little bit. And probably about 6 years later, we ended up purchasing the flower shop then from him. And we've
that's
had
great.
different locations since then, but we're in our perfect location now.
So you must love it because that's a lot of commitment to a lot of years. So
Yes. And being there for the families.
yes, yep. You build a lot of relationships that way, I'm sure. Too.
Yes.
So, well, tell us about your shop, which is called Flower Occasions,
Flower occasions.
and
yes.
tell us about all the services that you offer.
We offer flowers for every occasion and gift items for funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, anything that might come up.
Okay.
We got you covered.
No matter what you need, you've got it there probably.
We've got it there, and if we can't get it there, we'll get it there in a few days.
And do you also offer delivery?
Yes, we offer delivery to all of Cannon County and surrounding counties around us.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So really, even if you don't live in Woodbury or in Cannon County, if you're one of the surrounding counties, odds are you can probably help someone with an order if they.
Oh, definitely. We
something.
have people come from all counties to order, and especially for the cemetery orders, we
Right.
do a lot of cemetery orders and deliver to cemeteries even.
Oh, wow. That's good too. It's nice to basically, I don't know how most people do this. The way I do this, I'll take a business like yours and I'll program it into my phone.
Oh, yes.
And because it seems like you never know when you're going to need to order flowers for an occasion, or, and you just have that on speed dial, so to speak, and you build that relationship, and then you're kind of the go-to person for that customer. When you need something, you call them right away. And,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
They depend on you.
They do, don't they? Well, speaking of occasions, what are some of the more common occasions, I guess, you get called on to help with?
Our biggest usually is funerals.
Okay.
We're the go-to for family funerals, and we're always there. We always say that we like to do the flowers as if we're doing them for our own family.
Yeah.
That way, it's heartfelt.
It's kind of a personal touch kind of thing, isn't it?
Oh, yes, definitely is.
What's your favorite kind of orders to work on?
I would say funerals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the connection with the families.
Now, this is a question that kind of hits home for me because a lot of times I know I need something to order, but I don't necessarily know what. So, and I'm sure you never get a question like that, like almost every day. But
Yes.
Are you there to help people like me? So, like if I need to place an order for a special occasion for something, but I really don't know, whether it be a funeral service or anything else, is that something you kind of help walk us through the options, I guess?
Yes, we help guide.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, guide.
Yes,
Sometimes I need a little help.
Yes, if there's a favorite color, or if it is for a funeral, if you want something that would go to the cemetery after the service, or if you want something the family can take home, we have all kinds of items for that.
Sometimes it's good to work with your local flower shops on a service like that because you maybe get multiple calls from other customers and you can maybe prevent a duplicate order of something. Do you help with that
guide
too?
them?
Yeah.
Yes, in what direction, if they like plants or if they don't like plants, or if they have allergies to certain flowers, we're on top of that.
That's nice.
We
too.
try to prevent that.
I didn't think about that. Does that
Yes.
come up a lot?
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a good point. See, I guess there's some things you don't think about, but you have to deal with every day.
Every day.
I'm glad there's an expert there to help
Yes.
out with something like that.
Yes, and then also too, if they have something to take home, like plants, if they're cats or dogs, it can be
Right.
very toxic to some of those if they eat it. So we have to be on top of that.
Wow, that's a good point too. There's a lot to that,
There's a lot behind flower
Yeah,
shops.
there really is.
It's not a 9 to 5 job.
Do you basically get
You
calls?
work till the day's done,
Yeah.
till the last order goes out. Whether it be at 8 o'clock at night, you're there.
Wow. And I'm sure there's busy times of year or two for Valentine's Day and stuff like that too, where you feel like you're probably never going to be finished in a day.
That is official.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are there sometimes till 3 o'clock in the morning,
Really?
and then get back up at 5 and do it
Wow.
all over again. Yes.
That's when you're really glad to have family helping out because they normally won't run away and leave you stranded. you know.
Everybody becomes family then.
That's true. Do you have any interesting stories through the years where you've kind of come through to help someone in a pinch there that needed help with the order, the kind of odd story or just kind of a good feel-good story?
I guess our main ones are funerals. You never know what they have an idea of doing.
Like
and
a
so
special request kind of thing?
You make it happen. We've had where the person that passed away had a favorite saddle, a horse saddle, and we've used that saddle on the casket and made the flowers to fit on that saddle.
Oh, wow.
And, it's very touching for the family
Oh, yeah.
to have something that person, enjoyed on an everyday basis.
Kind of
and
really
was able
pays
to-
homage to them.
Yes.
How does it make you feel to to know that you are kind of there for these families during those kinds of times, whether it be a funeral or a wedding even or anything like that. Those are special occasions. Those really mean a lot to these families. How does that make you feel to know that you're a part of that special
It's
moment?
nice because people remember that.
Right.
They really remember who was there for them. You get all kinds of emotions in one day.
Do you have people stop you out in public when you're at the grocery store or something? Kind of, thank you so much for helping us for that occasion or whatever.
We just love it when we get a phone call and people call and like, we had so many compliments.
Oh, that's neat.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of running a shop like yours, I'm sure there's got to be ways that you use technology or the internet to kind of help things run smoothly. Is that an important part of what you do?
Yes. We use Facebook a lot for up-to-date items that we carry, bows for the seasons, whether it be fall, spring, Christmas.
Kind of getting the word out.
Memorial. Yes.
Yeah.
All the bows changes. Everybody loves those.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of orders from those posts. And then also through DTC, we use the advertisement through them.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
But it has changed a lot. I think most people say that it's hard to go back to the way it was because this is kind of the new normal. The way people expect to interact with you is different. And using technology is a big part of that, I think, in a lot of ways.
Facebook Messenger. It's amazing how
So
many.
is that a real common way to communicate with your customers?
It's amazing how many orders we get on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty neat.
Yes.
That's something I haven't really thought about, but I guess people probably use Facebook almost like a search engine.
24 hours a day.
Lucky you, right?
Yeah.
At 3 a.m. in the morning, too.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. And you may be up working on another order when you get that message.
Exactly.
So. Well, if someone's watching or listening today and they need to do business with you and they're really impressed with the kind of work that you guys do and they just want to reach out, what's the best way for them to contact you?
The best way would be to call our shop at Flower Occasions at 615-563-8848.
And where are you located?
At 328 South Macquarie Street in Woodbury, right across from the park.
And what are your typical hours? I know that's kind of a loaded question, but
normal business hours is 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday from 9 to 12.
Awesome. Well, Angie, I really appreciate you being on the program today. And like I said, I've heard nothing but good things about what you guys are doing. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck in many years to come and keeping those flowers coming out of the shop there.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having us here.
We appreciate you. And we appreciate everyone watching and listening. And we'll be back with more of the program here in just a moment.
Do you know what room the router's in? I can't get onto my Zoom meeting.
Try it in our spacious new family room.
Okay. Still not working.
Try it in our beautiful backyard.
Still nothing!
Your new home checked everything off your list, except for internet from DTC.
Oh, come on!
Sign up at dtccom.net for fast and reliable internet.
Ooh, I'll get it. Grandpa!
Hey!
Want to play my new game with me?
Oh, sure. I'd love to. Your new game.
Let's go. I got you.
Right off the
Get me
road.
No.
I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you this time. Oh, yeah.
Sharing memories while staying connected. DTC Internet makes it all possible.
It's time to hand the microphone over to Justin, as we do each and every month. For his segment, we like to affectionately call Justin's Tech Tips.
Well, Nick, we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people may consider as basic, especially since what you are listening to right now or what you are watching is a podcast. But that's what we're going to talk about today in our Tech Tips segment. We are going to talk about what is a podcast? Where can you find a podcast? How do you subscribe to a podcast? Some pointers to make sure, because we've got some exciting things happening within DTC Communications right now, and we're expanding in the podcast world, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but we want you to really know how can you connect with us everywhere that we're at and where you're at and whatever your favorite podcast
We don't
platform
want anyone missing any of this.
Right. Yes, you don't want to miss this. The first thing that we've got to answer, though, is what's a podcast? And so you're listening to this, you maybe think, well, I know what it is, right? It is something that's more along the lines when you think, people may think, of television or radio or something of that nature. And that's a little bit what it has to do with, but it's on demand. It's on-demand audio and it's on-demand video, which means you are in control of when you start it, when you stop it. You want to rewind it? You want to fast forward it even? Do you want to listen to it a little slower? Do you want to listen to it a little faster? All right, you've got all these nifty little controls where you get to control the playback on your time and on your schedule. Podcasts cover a variety of topics. Okay, so when I first started listening to podcasts, first kind of podcast I started listening to, I don't even know if you know this, it wasn't sports, it wasn't business, it wasn't tech, it was true crime.
Really?
That was the first podcast I actually started listening to, were true crime podcasts. Okay, and those are pretty big. There's a lot of true crime podcasts out there. But there's comedy podcasts, there's business podcasts, there's tech podcasts, sports, there's talk shows. You name it. There's probably a podcast on the subject out there right now for you to be able to find. And typically podcasts are episodic. And what I mean by that is, just like we do here, we have a regular schedule. We have an episode each month that premieres on the first Wednesday of each month. So that first Wednesday, the local click is coming out, right? It's going to be released. Now, podcast schedules vary. Some are daily, some are Monday through Friday, some are weekly. It just depends. Some are a little bit more sporadic. There's one that I have that doesn't actually have a regular release schedule. It still is listed with episode numbers, but they don't have a regular rhythm to them, which can be problemsome for some if you're trying to look for that specific content. But listen, when a new episode drops, if you're subscribed to it, we'll talk about how to subscribe here in a second. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. Maybe you're listening like you're like me and you listen on a niche podcast platform like Overcast or Pocket Cast. These other smaller apps. Listen, it doesn't matter what the app is. Use whatever app works for you.
Find one you like.
Find the one that you like, and use it. Okay, use that app and make sure that you're tuning in and you're listening whenever you want to this. The cool part about podcasts now, though, is they started out, they were audio. Okay, but as we can see right now, it's not just audio anymore, right? You've got the video. I mean, video has taken over on podcast. I mean, video is just made it go into a completely different direction, and things have exploded because I think video makes it more personal, right? Mm-hmm. You feel more involved, right? You and I are talking right now, but if you're watching it, you feel like you're more part of the conversation. If you want to find podcasts, though, that's one of the biggest things is you need to know how to find a podcast, and you need to know how to subscribe to a podcast. So once you find it, you don't have to go search for it every time. You don't have to go looking for it. You can set up your feed, as it's called, to notify you when a new episode comes out, to download it automatically so you don't have to go find it, right, to help with that. And so it's super duper easy to do that, whatever your podcast platform of choice is. So again, it doesn't matter what podcast platform that you're on. Just make sure that you're picking one and you stick with it. If you're an audio fan, you may prefer Apple Podcast, okay, or Google Podcast or Spotify. Now, all these are transitioning to video because it's exploding. So they're integrating more video things, but those are still your traditional platforms for audio podcast. For video podcast, YouTube's the gold mine right now, right? That's YouTube has exploded with video podcast. And so, that is a great platform if that's what you're looking for. But here's the thing, when you want to find a podcast, just open the app. You got really two options. If you know what you're looking for, search for it. You can search for it and try to find it. Or if you're like, you know what, I'm interested in business, or I'm interested in news, or I'm interested in technology.
More of a topic kind of thing,
all of these podcast platforms have those topics to pick from. So you can go into a specific topic and it will list, usually it'll aggregate based off of what more people are listening to, what's more popular. You can also use a search engine, or use social media to search too. See what other people are, has any of your friends mentioned a podcast that they're listening to? Search on social media and see if you find a podcast that somebody is listening to that maybe you'll enjoy too. Mm-hmm. And then, hey, strike up a conversation with them. So you can browse by category, you can browse specifically. But the big thing is when you find one, don't just download it and listen to it one time. Be like, oh, I really like this. Make sure you either hit that follow button or you hit that subscribe button. So follow or subscribe are the buttons that you're looking for, because depending upon the platform, it may be worded different, but follow and subscribe. That's what you want. And then you find that favorite podcast and that new episode comes out, it's going to download automatically and it's going to be right there for you. So if you're like me, when you hop in the vehicle, that's all I listen to. I pull up Overcast and CarPlay and I start listening to my queue. And so I've got specific episodes that go into my queue, and that's what I do every day. I have a news podcast that is 15 minutes.
So really, you don't have to touch it once you've got it set up the way you want to. It just does it all in the background and notifies you, hey, you've got a new episode of whatever podcast it is you're trying to listen to, right?
Yeah, I mean it is so easy. Yeah. That's the thing. It is very
Don't
easy.
be intimidated by it, right? Is what you're trying to say.
It's easier. Yeah. It probably is easier than hitting that easy button. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
That everybody is looking for. And so it's interesting. And explore different ones, right? You may find a podcast, but it's Audible. I didn't know it had video. I didn't know there was a video portion to this. You know, and the video podcast may have a different vibe. And that may be more what you're into. So it doesn't matter if you're looking for a traditional radio experience, you have that. If you want to listen to the audio only, if you're listening for more of a television experience, you have that option too, right? You can pick whichever one you want. I mean, it is completely up to you which one that you want, and that's what's interesting, right? You can be immersed in it as much as you want. And the thing with podcast is you can learn new skills, right? You can laugh along the way. You can stay up to date on whatever topic interests you, and again, it can be a conversation starter. And the thing is, you can listen to podcasts while driving in the vehicle. Maybe you want to listen to a podcast while you're working out, listening to a podcast while cleaning the house, whatever it may be. You can do this while you're doing other activities.
It really makes it convenient. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, they're flexible.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with podcasts, and maybe I should have led with this, often all this is free too, right? There's no cost to it. Now, there are podcast platforms that offer subscription basis for extra things, but usually you can access the podcast at no cost. Now, maybe they have some special things behind the paywall or reduced ads or something like that. But just like the local click, it doesn't cost you a dime. You're not charged anything to be able to access this. And most podcasts are that way. And so that's pretty awesome. Now, why are we hitting so heavy on podcast right now for this episode since we're 2 years in? Well, we've got some exciting things happening, as I said earlier. We're not doing anything new with some shows that we have. We've already mentioned the box score. And if you are someone who has followed DTC or DTC3 for a while, you may know that we each month have chamber shows with the Smith County Chamber of Commerce, the DeKalb County Chamber of Commerce, and the Cannon County Chamber of Commerce. Each one of them has their own chamber show that we do each month to update on specific things that are going on within those counties.
Right.
And what we are now doing, we're excited to introduce it, is we're going to take those and we're going to introduce a podcast format of it. So we're already showing those and airing those on DTC3. We were publishing those to YouTube as a regular video. But again, we do those every month. What did we talk about with podcast earlier? Right. There's episodes. We have monthly episodes.
It's on a schedule, yeah.
Yes. So we're going to take these now when we release these each month, and we're going to publish each of them as their own podcast.
Oh, great.
So we're going to it's the same content, but we're now putting it in a more accessible format for you. Again, on your schedule when you want to listen. And we're also excited to do the same thing. The box score is returned because it is football season. And again, the box score now will also have its own podcast feed as well. So we're not introducing 4 new shows. There are already 4 new shows, but they will be new podcasts for DTC. So listen, stay tuned. We're excited to be publishing those and putting those out there. Remember to, don't just follow the local click. We've got the box score, and then we've got chamber shows for all 3 of those counties. And go to dtc3.tv for more information, and we'll make sure that we have got a spot on there for you to be able to find these and to reach those and to give you more information about our podcast, because podcasts are awesome.
They're very
great.
big.
Yeah,
they're not
great.
going away either.
No, and we're glad to be able to do more with those and to be able to make it easier for you to find and know what's going on, because all of these programs, the best part about them is they're not about DTC communications. They're about our community. Mm-hmm. They're about our athletes. They're about our businesses. They're about our people. And we want to highlight those things. So I'm thrilled that we're going to be able to have another platform to help spread the word about these and make it more accessible for everyone.
Yeah, it's very exciting times. And for this segment of The Local Click, we're very lucky to have Mr. Josh Tramel with Tramel CPA Group in Smithville. Hello, Josh. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here with you guys today.
Well, we're so glad to have you. And Josh truly is an outstanding guy. I know Josh, have known him for a long time. And not only is he a true professional in the accounting space, but he's just a great person, and we're just very lucky to have him on the program. I was excited to have you here today.
I appreciate those kind words. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So now I know you very well, and I know a lot of your backstory, but there may be people listening or watching to the podcast today that may not. So tell us about yourself and your ties to DeKalb County.
My ties go back, really to the very beginning. I've been here all my life, and I come from a big family, so I have lots of cousins, aunts, uncles. Lots of people know me. Lots of people know lots of my family. So I've been married 18 years to my lovely wife, Leslie, and we have 2 boys. Lee, who is a sophomore at DeKalb County High School. He's 15.
So he's a tiger.
Yep, he's a tiger. He likes to, loves technology. So he's all in. He helps with the football scoreboard, basketball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he loves it. So my youngest, Luke, he is a 2nd grader at Northside Elementary.
Okay.
And he's 8. And lots of people know my dad. He was in banking forever. So if some people don't even know me, and they're like, "Are you Jerry Tramel's son?" Yep, I am Jerry Tramel's son. So I go way back here.
What led you to accounting? And it may be that. It may just be because your proximity with your dad's profession, but is kind of what led you to the accounting industry and kind of opening and owning your own accounting business?
So I loved math. I always excelled in math.
So you're one of those that actually loved math in school?
Loved it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was
special.
Exactly. In college classes, I had some more difficult ones that people dreaded, and I thought they were fun.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where
God blessed you with a good math skill set.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I went into accounting thinking, hey, I love math. Well, there is a lot of math in accounting, but it's very simple math. You do some solving for unknown things, but for the most part, it's pretty simple math in accounting. And so that was a little different than, I thought I would love engineering or accounting, something in math, and I landed in accounting.
And how did you go from being an accountant to actually owning your own firm? That's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. So I love working with people. And so that's really why I wanted to do this is I just love working with people on an individual level. And that's my favorite part of it, really.
You probably have to be a pretty strong people person to have a business like yours, don't you? Because you're dealing with a lot of personal information, so to speak, but you get to know people's families, right? I mean, if you're doing someone's taxes, you need to know how many dependents they have.
Oh, yeah.
And the different kind of things they keep up with for numbers. And you really get to know people.
Yeah. We joke about it, but we know when you deal with someone's how much money they make, where their money's going, that you really know about everything in their life.
That's true.
And so we're very trusted by the client. And that's one of the, we can never violate that trust.
Right.
We people just come to us for all kinds of life situations because we know so much about them.
And you don't want to make the decision for them, but you're there to bounce ideas off of in a professional standpoint.
We get that all the time.
Yeah.
People come to us a lot of times as our first, when something goes on in their life, well, it affects their money and they end up coming to us a lot of times on that. So we get that all the time and we're happy to help.
Yeah.
And we deal with it a lot, so we can help lead people in the right direction on that.
What kind of services do you offer there at the firm?
We are a business that's really focused on small businesses. So we offer any kind of accounting related service for small businesses. We start them, we help set them up, we really just start to finish when any kind of small business. So we do a lot of bookkeeping. We do a lot of advisory services you'll hear in accounting, which is really just helping with even a CFO position. They come to us because they don't have a CFO or whatever that may be. So we help in those aspects. So
you kind of take the place almost of a full-time position of a person at some companies.
Yeah. So we do a lot of, we pay people's bills. We, if we need to, it's not something that we do all the time for every client, but we have that ability to do that. And so tax returns are an end result of a lot of things we do, but that's not really our primary focus. We do bookkeeping, financial statement preparation. There's all these levels of service when it comes to accounting that we prepare financial statements, we compile them, we review them. We do not perform audits. We get that question a lot. So we're primarily focused on small business, helping people out.
You had mentioned income taxes a moment ago. Are there any common overlooked issues that can be avoided when it comes to income taxes, whether it be personal or business, I guess, for that matter?
Oh, yeah. So there's lots of issues that we run into, but I take it back to the basics. If we can get someone going the right direction, it makes everyone's life
like early
easier.
on, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. If someone comes to us in the middle of the year, well, we can still evaluate kind of what's going on. But if someone comes to us at tax time, it's past the time to fix that issue. So
it limits the way you can help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we really focus on looking at the future instead of the past in our business. And that's hard for some people because, hey, we're gathering someone that just does a tax return. They bring their information in and it's already too late to do anything about that. So we really like to focus on the future so we can prevent those problems. But some of the common issues that we see is we have people that mix business and personal things. And so if we go back to the very beginning, we always tell people, hey, get a business checking account, get a personal checking account. Don't mix the two up.
Keep things separate.
Keep them separate.
Yeah.
Because people come to us and it becomes mixed up and it's hard to see what really happened. And when you pull that information out, sometimes people don't realize what really did happen until you show them, hey, you pulled this amount of money out. So when that happens, we try to go back to the basics of, hey, let's start doing it the right way. And so that way we can really focus on the future rather than the past and get some solutions going forward.
Well, not only does it kind of help the accuracy of your reports and everything you have to help people with, but I mean, people could be leaving deductions on the table that they didn't realize. Maybe they're doing some things, you're using a vehicle for business purposes and they're paying that out of a personal account and they don't realize.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
People come in and like, oh, I could deduct that. Yeah, if it's business related,
right,
most of the time it's deductible. Now, can you deduct all of it? maybe not, but hey, when something is business related, we need to know about it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where when we focus on kind of what's going on now and in the future, we can plan on, hey, a purchase of equipment, whatever it may be, whatever industry you're in, the timing of that, whether it's in this tax year, next tax year, can make a significant difference depending on, how much money you've made. So
that's a good point too.
It's just a major difference in when you can save 10, 12% difference on an expense. Well, the timing of that may be, hey, I want to go ahead and pull the trigger and buy it this year versus next year.
It may make more sense to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. How in the world do you keep up with such a complex and ever-changing information climate of when it comes to such a task as taxes and dealing with government issues and that sort of thing? It's got to be a constant battle just to stay on top of everything.
It absolutely is a constant battle. So we have, we constantly receive emails, updates on tax law, on local. By the time you look at the IRS code, just on the federal side alone, there's like 6,000 pages of IRS code.
Wow.
And then you deal with all of the regulations, the case law related to those. And then when you add all that, 76,000 pages related to all this. So how do we keep up with it? It's very hard to keep up with all that. As a CPA, I'm required to get 80 hours of CPE every 2 years. So, I'm receiving about 40 hours a year, but there's no way you can keep up based on that. So you have to constantly receive information, whether that's from reading publications, emails, watching things like this, podcasts, where we constantly are receiving information on how things are changing.
I think that just emphasizes the whole point of having someone that's a professional like you in this industry to keep up and be able to answer the right questions with the right answer at the right time. Because some people try to go it alone on some of these things. And as the average business owner or self-employed person or whatever, it's almost impossible to keep up with all these changes. And it could really get yourself in a tight spot on something if you don't realize something important has changed, since the last year or two.
Yes. It's constantly changing, and that's just the federal side. So the state is constantly changing.
That's just one piece of the pie there. Yeah.
And so, we deal with the Department of Revenue, the IRS side, and we even deal with like Secretary of State filing information for people. So all of that is constantly evolving, and we have to stay on top of it because it's something new rolling out all the time.
I'm glad you're keeping up with all that because I think that's over my head. So I'm glad there's professionals out there that are keeping their ear to the ground on those kinds of things. But talk about the importance of accurate bookkeeping. I know you mentioned earlier you help with a lot of bookkeeping issues and that. How important is it to be accurate with your bookkeeping, and kind of explain how you help businesses with that?
So accurate bookkeeping is back to the basics of if we want good information, we have to put good information into a bookkeeping system. And we deal with clients that do some of the bookkeeping themselves. So whether they bill their customers, that's a common, hey, they want to bill, create invoices and keep track of what people owe, but then we keep track of the expense side. Anything that we do, if you put bad information in, you get bad information out. And that's constant struggle that we deal with, is deciphering what needs to be there and what doesn't. And I'm going to go back to, hey, if we only have business related things in there, we definitely are in a lot better position than where we started. But if we're in control of that whole bookkeeping, well, at any point in time, I can tell you, hey, I'm doing your books. And I'm like, Nick, you have made, at any point in time, I can look at it and say, hey, here's where you are. Whereas if you're taking care of those and you send them to me, then I have to be like, what did Nick do here? So I got to go figure it out.
How about, Josh, help me. I've done something wrong.
And we deal with that. It's a constant thing that we deal with.
Yeah.
And so the importance of good bookkeeping is that's the basics of, hey, have you reconciled your bank account to the books? Well, if you've not done that, I know your books are probably not 100% accurate. So we have to go back to the basics in any of that to get a good, accurate picture.
I think you can almost see a servant's heart in what you do as helping people with their businesses and stuff. And it's funny, you're kind of almost retraining some of these small businesses to do things the right way. And the first year or two may be a little difficult if you have a new client come on and maybe they've always done it this way. Maybe it wasn't the right way. But after a little while, you kind of see, oh, this is helping me. And this is actually saving me money or saving me time, or it's making it more accurate. And you kind of feel good to almost be that teacher, if you will, almost to get people down that road.
We constantly deal with people that are like, oh, you hate to see me calling. No, this is common that you're calling us asking these questions. Right. We have to kind of let them know that. But then, hey, you've dealt with someone you've maintained their books for 20 years. They've learned a whole lot. And so, there's just a different level of, if they started out and they've taken into consideration those things you've tried to teach them, then your job becomes much easier. Oh, yeah, I bet. Because they do it the way you want them to. And then, hey, those answers are much easier.
That learning curve has already happened, I guess, earlier in the relationship. How has technology changed in what you do as far as having your type of CPA business or the internet or those sorts of things? Has that really changed the way you operate day to day?
Absolutely. It's constantly changing. We use DTC internet, and if we did not have that fiber connection that's always there, we've had very little downtime. Without it, we can't really function. So we depend on it. Our business can't even function without it. So that's kind of where we are with technology. But not only that, it's constantly, new features of software, new things automation within the accounting industry. So you're going to see the changes of like AI that is coming. It's crazy
one of my questions.
How good accounting is consistent for the most part. So when you do things one time, it knows.
Picks up on that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And so our software already kind of knows that. They've already integrated those functions within that. That's been going on for years, honestly. We use automation in scanning things where it actually keys in a W-2 to our tax software. So we don't even have to physically key things in. So the technology we use is advancing, and who knows, what's going to happen. If you need to know a complex tax answer, a unique situation, well, we're just seeing the AI scratch the surface of what's going to happen with that. It's crazy how good it is.
It's getting better all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure someone listening or watching probably needs to learn more about your business and Tramel CPA Group. What's the best way to keep in touch with what you guys are up to and how to get in touch with you and that sort of thing?
You can go visit us at our website, tramelcpa.com. We also, you can give us a call, you can email us. You're going to find all that contact information there. Now, once you reach out, the best thing to do is reach out to you'll get into Ashley Brown, our Director of Operations. She will coordinate kind of what you guys need when you reach out to us and get you lined up of, hey, here's what we can do, here's what we can't do in your situation. So that's the best direction would be, hey, go there, give us a call, email us. And then at that point, I'm going to go back to our technology. Everything we do is we have secure portals where you can upload things to us and we can communicate with you secure through that portal.
Oh, wow.
So anything like that, hey, we're here to help.
you guys are not afraid of technology. And I like to hear that from the AI to the secure portals.
That's
it sounds like you guys are embracing it, and it makes you more efficient and it makes you more accurate. So
yes, and it gives us the ability to work from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Josh, keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud to see you running your own place now, and you're doing great things. And we wish you nothing but the best in your future success there.
Thank you very much.
All right. Everybody stay tuned. More of the program coming up in just a moment.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We've deployed a high-speed network that helps the best and the brightest enjoy better lives in our smart rural community. Great small businesses provide jobs that help workers earn a good living and provide for their families while strengthening local economies. We deploy fiber internet that helps those businesses succeed. Great doctor and patient relationships create bonds that lead to healthier lives. We deliver secure connections so every home and rural healthcare provider can connect to the best healthcare options. Great schools help knowledge-hungry students learn, think creatively, and follow their passions. We've built the network that helps their dreams take off. Great farmers provide the food that sustains and nourishes our nation and the world. We keep those farmers connected to the technology that ensures their crops can thrive. We've planned, engineered, and constructed a cutting-edge communications network. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
And welcome back to the final segment of this month's episode of The Local Click. And we're going to hand the microphone over to Justin once more for Tech News Roundup.
Nick, we're going to talk about AI to start off, but we're going to be talking about it in a way that we may have alluded to in the past. We're going to talk about how it's disrupting a specific area, but it's disrupting an area that probably a lot of people don't want it to disrupt, and that's the job market.
Yeah.
So there are some recent studies that have come out, some research, and it appears now at this point, just this year alone, it is estimated that artificial intelligence has eliminated about 27,000 entry-level tech positions.
Wow.
And that's just this year. They're estimating over the last 3 years, probably 80 to 90,000 positions have been eliminated because of AI. And that was something that we had talked about. You know, what is this going to do to the job market?
Thought that could happen.
And so it's looking like it's happening. And so these are more entry-level positions that it's eliminating, but it is happening. You know, there are positions being eliminated. There was an article that I read talked about Shopify's CEO had specifically sent out an email earlier this year where he indicated that if there's a job that AI can do and it can do it better and cheaper, it's going to do it instead of a person. And so that's kind of the mindset of a lot of these businesses is if they can utilize AI to do some of these easier tasks, they're going to do it. And so we're seeing that. And so it's going to be interesting again to see how that continues to evolve, especially as AI advances more, because even over this past month, we've seen the introduction of new AI models. OpenAI, who obviously is probably the biggest one who introduced ChatGPT, which revolutionized and introduced a lot of people to AI. Well, they introduced GPT-5 this past month, and so now it's been introduced, and now it's considered, the fastest, most logical thinking AI that there is. Every time a new AI is introduced, they test them all against these various tasks.
It's always the best every time.
And so, they get better. But the thing about it is this has more voice features. It is operating at a lot of a quicker pace, and it's able to do some coding and research things so much quicker that it's almost like software on demand.
Oh, wow.
It hadn't even been written. And so, again, these things are going to continue to evolve, and as these tools and processes get more advanced, what does that ultimately mean for job markets. That's it's an ethical consideration that a lot of people have to think about, and a lot of business owners, and they're going to have some decisions to make in regards to that.
So those getting ready to enter the professional job market, maybe straight out of college in the tech side of things, may have a different outlook than they would have had, even 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, the thing with AI as any technology is, again, it's always limited to what it can be taught. But the thing is, they're so efficient now at being taught different things and analyzing data and analyzing patterns and doing all this stuff that they can just do it so much quicker.
Yeah.
And so much, faster at a faster rate. And so, it's going to be interesting to see what transpires. I'm sure in next month and the month after, we'll have more AI models. We'll have all kinds of things. We could talk about that on repeat. Next up, something that's kind of interesting. We talked about cryptocurrency, and recently we've talked about it being accepted more as a payment platform and payment processors using cryptocurrency. This past month, President Trump actually signed an executive order encouraging using cryptocurrency and other assets such as real estate to be able to accept them into 401ks, into retirement plans.
Wow.
And so that is big, right? If you're able to take and put that into a retirement account and lock it in and get the tax advantages of a retirement account. Now, this does not mandate it. The executive order does not mandate it, but it's seeking, innovation and exploring ideas and things like that. But it does make it possible where, if you're a crypto investor, 401ks may have access to some digital assets and physical assets like real property that it did not have before. So most of the time we think of, okay, you can take money and currency and put it in there, and you can take some other assets like, gold and silver and things like that, bullion, right, and put it in there. So this is different when it's now looking at a decentralized currency and a digital currency. And so I don't know there'll be any takers on it. I don't know if anybody will jump to it. But again, it's showing the shift that cryptocurrency is probably going to become more mainstream over time, something that even probably a lot of Americans still don't fully understand or know how it works.
Right. Somehow AI once again has entered the podcast platform for this month, and there's not much we can do about it because it's at the forefront of everything. So, and I don't see it changing.
Even our guest that we had today, there's probably some sort of AI program out there that may help you design flower arrangements. And that there is AI that will help with accounting processes. Absolutely. And being able to figure things out. It's integrated across, it doesn't, flower arrangements and being a florist to accounting to everything. It touches just about everything now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. And at this time, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to tell you about all the great things that DTC is up to during the month of September in our segment called What's Up DTC. And we're going to kick it off with the DTC annual meeting of the cooperative members, which will be held on Saturday, September the 13th at the DeKalb County Fairgrounds in Alexandria, Tennessee. That will be with voting from 8 to 10 in the morning, and then the meeting will be immediately following the end of the voting, so we hope you can join us for that event. After that, you can see DTC at the DeKalb Farm Bureau Farm Day, which will be at Jimmy Herndon's Farm in Smithville on September the 17th. And wrapping up the last event for September will be the Cannon County Car Show, which will be on September the 27th on the square at Woodbury. If you love cars like I do, you need to stop by and check them out. They have some great collections of automobiles, past, present, and maybe some that may even look a little bit futuristic, but definitely check that out on September the 27th in Woodbury. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this month's program. Justin, thanks for joining me like you always do. Thanks for everything you bring to the program.
Listen, glad to be here. Glad that you were here, and I'm looking forward to being back together again next time.
And like Justin was speaking about, make sure you subscribe to all of these great podcasts coming up, not just the ones that we do, but get out there and do a little exploration of your own. You might find some content that you really enjoy that you're missing out on. And I also want to thank all of our guests for being on the program. We appreciate everything they bring to the show. And we want to say we appreciate you for being a part of the program. And we hope that you will listen each month to The Local Click on the first Wednesday of the month, wherever you choose to listen or watch. Until next time, Nick Noakes for Justin Malden saying so long. We'll see you next time.
Learn more about the show by visiting us online at thelocalclick.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast or video platform so you won't miss our next episode of The Local Click. See you next month.